important marine and the coastal sites of India. So, in the last few days, we are having a discussion about the protected areas, and then to look at whether there is any comprehensive database or information. I mean, the site from where the information can be taken, right? There is a world database on the protected areas, that is WDPA. It's a comprehensive global database consisting of all the terrestrial and the marine protected areas. It is a joint project between the UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program, and IUCN, that is International Union for Conservation of Nature, right? So this particular website hosted at IUCN website, you can see the information that close to 15.34% of the world's, it's whatever the stats right now it's showing on the screen is for the world, I mean across the world. So 15.34 percentage of the protected areas on the terrestrial environment, close to 7.65 on the marine area, right? Overall, in terrestrial protected areas and OECM coverage, that is 16.12, and then protected areas in the marine and then OECM coverage is close to 7.71. We will go a little bit to understand what all or any marine environment comes under four different zones, right? No use zone, that is no activities are permitted and everything is protected. You have no tech zone, that is there is a slight activities can be done, but you cannot take anything from that particular zone. You have a buffer zone, that is a transitional zone between no tech zone and multiple use zone, and then you have the multiple use zone, right? So most of the marine protected areas are trying to bring the environment into this two particular, and then in some cases into this buffer zone as well, right? If you look into the global extent of marine protected areas, wherever you are seeing the blue marks, right, all these areas, then also in the if you see the Indian coastlines, you do have some blue dots, right? And then you have this Great Barrier Reef, right? And so all these blue areas are marine protected areas across the world. Now, if you look into statistics, it tells you that close to 7.65% of the ocean are covered by the marine protected areas, and there are total 18,000, actually this is 18,454 marine protected areas are there, covering close to 277 lakh 24,036 kilometers square, right? Also, you may be aware by now that there are the global ocean can be divided into two parts. One is within the jurisdiction of any nation, that is a national water, and then the other one is a high sea, means it is not coming under the jurisdiction of any particular country. So you can see that difference in the protection of the marine area. In the national water across the world, you have close to 39% of the world ocean coming in this particular national water, and out of which around 17.78% is coming under the protected areas. Whereas in the high sea, you can see that only 1% or 1.18% of the high sea area are protected. The reason behind it that if it is coming under one particular country, they can make the decision, they can make the laws, and they can protect the water. However, if it is in the high sea, then they have to coordinate with the international team of different countries, and then come to a conclusion that which portion can be treated as a marine protected area, right? In the last decade, we have seen that there has been a lot of development in the marine protected areas coverage, and that you can see in the graph that in last let's say last one decade, you have exponential increase in the area which is coming under the marine protected areas, right? Both in the national as well as in the global waters. And also you can see that the high sea is also somewhat getting covered with the different protected area, right? And if you look into the growth in the marine protected area coverage in the different zone of the world, then you can see that mostly close to 44.78% of the polar is coming under the marine protected areas. Similarly, in the North America also there is a good growth of group. I mean, they are including more and more water bodies into the marine protected areas, right? So these are some of the statistics: polar, followed by North America, followed by Asia and Pacific, Latin America, Africa, Europe, and then West Asia. Okay. Most of the growth what you are seeing in this particular area, that in the marine protected area, is coming because of the establishment of the very large marine protected areas covering 1 lakh kilometers square. So you can see in my slide, or in the screen, that there are several big locations across the world ocean that are no-take marine reserve. And then you have a multi-zoned marine protected area with some no-take, right? You can see in this color, okay? And then you have a lot of other marine protected areas like sanctuaries, or maybe community reserves and so and so, right? Also, there is a target, that IC target, which has been which has to be implemented by all the United Nations signatory countries, that we have to bring more and more protected areas, close to 10% into the protected areas, right? As a result of which, you can see that there are several designated sites are there, which has been officially designated, but it is yet to be implemented to be converted into marine protected areas, right? So this is what I was talking about at the global scale. Now coming to the India, according to this World Database on Protected Areas, there are only 41 protected areas has been cited in the country, in our country. And you can see that there is no management effectiveness evaluation done for any of these protected areas, right? Out of which you can see that only 5.97 percentage of the terrestrial area has been covered with the protected area, and then only 0.17% of the marine ecosystem has been protected, right? And in this particular website, if you can look, there are only four marine protected areas covered. First one is Gulf of Mannar, second one is Sundarbans, third one is Astumudi wetland, and fourth one is Point Calimere Wildlife and Bird Sanctuary. Now, it is always always good to look into this particular website, because it gives you the international level of protection in the protected area. These statistics might differ from what we generally says for our country, that we have 136 marine protected areas, and altogether 900 plus protected areas across the, including the terrestrial and the marine part, right? And this difference could be because of the methodologies and the data set used by this particular world database on protected areas, or which has been implemented by our, considering our country's standard and the questionnaires and methodology, right? So it is good to look into the national database, what we have, and one such information you can get from ENVIS Center, right? So Environmental Information System, that is ENVIS, and it's a child of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now in this particular website, if you look, then it will say that from 200 to, from 2000 to 2019, there has been increase in the number of national park. You can see from 89 to 104, right? I will tell you why it is 101, because 3 of the national parks in the Andamans has been merged with Rani Jhansi Marine National Park. So you can say from 89 to 104. And then also you can see that from 1,46,000 to 1,65,000 square kilometer has been covered, right? So if you look into the ENVIS website, it says that the protected area has been increasing for last 20 years. And close to 1.23 percentage of our country covers the national park, 3.65 as wildlife sanctuaries, 0.12 as conservation reserves, 0.03 as a community reserve, and overall close to 5% of the total country is coming under the protected areas, which is uh, approximately 903 total protected areas, right? So this is the information which is available on the ENVIS website of the MOEFCC. Now, if you go in that particular website, there is a Bhuvan uh, ISRO GIS satellite, which tells you the pinpoint location of all 903 protected areas in our country, right? Coming back and give some more focus on the marine protected areas. As we have been talking at several times that India is having an extensive coastline of close to 7,500 kilometers in length, which can be divided into two parts. One into the peninsular India, that is the mainland, and then the other into the island. First major island is Lakshadweep, and then we have the Andaman and Nicobar Island. So close to 5,500 kilometer comes in the peninsular India, and close to 2,000 kilometer into the Andaman and Lakshadweep Islands, right? And overall EEZ, that is exclusive zone, exclusive economic zone, that is the Indian waters in the sea, is close to 2.02 million square kilometer, right? And then we have 25 MPAs, that is marine protected areas in the peninsular India, and close to 106, or I think it's 109 marine protected areas in the country's island, right? Why I said 109? Because there is three site added in Lakshadweep last year, which is not updated here, right? So we can see that there is in the mainland we have close to 8,000 kilometer in the marine protected area, which is about 5% of the total protected area network of India. It means that whatever the total protected area, including the terrestrial and the marine, so marine covers close to 5%, and it is close to 0.25% of the total geographic area, right? In the marine protected area, there are several laws which you have to, which are acting. For example, Environmental Protection Act of 1986, Coastal Regulation Zone of 1991, National Biodiversity Act, Wildlife Protection Act. So all these acts are, actively working in those marine protected areas. Okay, so which area we can call it as marine protected area? Anything which lies within 500 meter from the high tide line to the marine environment, right? So all those areas can be considered within the marine protected area network. Okay, so this is about the peninsular India, that is 8,214 kilometers. Similarly, in the Andaman and Nicobar Island, we have close to 1,510 square kilometer, which is coming under the protected, or which is coming under the protected area, and it covers close to 105 islands in the marine protected area network. Okay. So having said that, you can have a look into the slide in the screen that you have four marine national park in the mainland. First is Sundarbans, this particular area. Okay, maybe this particular area. The second one you have in Gulf of Mannar, which is somewhere here, which we will see always. When we go for the field. The third one is Bhitarkanika, which is here. Okay. So first you have Sundarbans, second you have Bhitarkanika, third you have Gulf of Mannar, and then fourth you have Gulf of Kutch. Okay. So these are the four major marine protected area in the form of national parks in the mainland. And previously there were nine marine national park in Andaman and Nicobar Island, which is now left only with six, because as I said that three has been merged in Rani Jhansi National Park. And you can have a look that you have this Mahatma Gandhi Marine National Park here, right? You have Rani Jhansi Marine National Park here. Then similarly, you have all the six national park in this Andaman and Nicobar Island. Okay, and then we have one. Previously, it was one protected area, that is a Piti Island in the Lakshadweep archipelago, as a bird sanctuary. And then I will let you know that what are the three other new additions. If you want to look more detail about also the sanctuaries, you can just have a look in this particular link, which is a ENVIS link, and I am sure that you would have also seen it. So this particular website, right? So here it will tell you, I mean, it is there what all the sanctuaries are there, what all national parks are there, if there are community reserves, okay, and which year it has been established. So in this particular link, you can see the update till 2015. That is Tane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary, okay. And then you can see all the sanctuaries as national park in the island, and then one particular in the Lakshadweep, right? Okay, so this is the one which we are seeing from WIA. So now that four different term came, that is the community reserve. So it can be seen as a part of protected area, which typically acts as buffer zone or connects the margins of the established national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and protected forests. Okay. Second one is the national park. It means it's a reserved area which is protected from industrialization, human exploitation, and pollution. The third one is biosphere reserve. So it's a place which has to be conserved. It means all the natural resources of that area has to be conserved, and there should be an improvement of the relationship between the man and the environment. Okay. So we do have two biosphere reserve in marine ecosystem in India. I will tell you later. And then you have the sanctuary. So it's a large, fully protected habitat, and most of the sanctuaries are species or group of organism specific. Okay, so these are the four different categories when we look into the in situ conservation of the organisms. Okay. Now, as I said, that the marine biosphere reserve. So in marine biosphere reserve, these are the site established by the country and recognized by the UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program. Okay, so it is made in order to promote the sustainable development based on the local community effort and sound science. So there should be a scientific method for the development or for the sustainable development of the local communities, and then conserving the natural resources of that particular site. Okay, so the purpose is to formation of a biosphere reserve to conserve the in situ all form of life along with its support system in its totality. So it could serve as a referral system for monitoring and evaluating changes in the natural ecosystems. Uh, Altogether, there are 18 biosphere reserve which has been recognized by UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program in our country. Two of them are there covering the marine ecosystem as well in the mainland. First is Gulf of Mannar, and then second one is Sundarbans. So you can see that the Gulf of Mannar is spreaded in close to 10,500 square kilometer, and it also forms a part of. I mean, it is divided between the two countries, that is India and Sri Lanka, right? So we have the transboundary in Gulf of Mannar. Similarly, in Sundarbans, we have 9,630 square kilometer. It also has a kind of trans boundary between India and Bangladesh. and it forms the part of the delta of Ganges and the Brahmaputra river system in West Bengal. Okay, so quickly have a look that this is the Gulf of Mannar. So it is one of the richest coastal region in southeast coast of India. It supports close to 4,000 species of flora and fauna. It is also considered as biological paradise. There are 21 islands in the Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Okay, spreaded close to 216 square miles from Tuticorin in the south to Dhanushkodi in the north. Okay, so this particular area is Gulf of Mannar. Okay, and it goes somewhere around 10 kilometer from the coast to the water. Okay, now you can see that there are groups of island. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then you have here one group, right? Then you have one group, then you have one group, right? So likewise there are 5 different groups of island in Gulf of Mannar. Once we are coming to the field, some of these islands are easily visible from the mainland, and at that time we will see. But what you should remember is that there are 21 islands in Gulf of Mannar. Okay, if you want to get more knowledge on the diversity and the plans of this Gulf of Mannar Man and Biosphere Reserve, there is a link which is given here, again supported by Tamil Nadu ENVIS document, right? And you can have a look. Similarly, the second biosphere reserve is Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve. We all know that it forms between the India and Bangladesh, and then it's the largest mangrove ecosystem in the world, right? And it comes under, I guess, two districts in West Bengal, South Chobis Pargana and North Chobis Pargana, right? Uh, it covers close to 4,260 square kilometers. So extent of mangrove reserve forest is this much, out of which 55% is in the land and then 45% is in the sea or the intertidal zone. Okay, it comprises of 4 different marine protected area. If you can look, first one is Sundarban National Park, then you have Sajankali Wildlife Sanctuary, Lothian Wildlife Sanctuary, and Holiday Wildlife Sanctuary, of different covering different areas. Okay, and it also supports a huge floral diversity, considering the ecosystem it gives, like fully muddy and anoxic conditions, right? We do have close to 30 species of mangroves, and then other autotrophic systems, fauna, flora, sorry. In the fauna, close to 274 Bengal tigers are available in this particular Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, and then also it supports good diversity of vertebrates, semichordates, invertebrates, mammals, reptiles, and birds. Okay, again there is a link given here, which is, I guess, West Bengal Forest Department, where you can have more information on Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. Okay. In addition to what we already have, there is an announcement in 2020 that Lakshadweep administration has done, that to create the world's first conservation area for endangered sea cucumber. Okay, so this sea cucumber are located. I mean, this particular area, or what do you say, the marine protected area is at 3 different locations. One is in Cheriapani Island, okay, that has been named after KK Mohammed Koya Sea Cucumber Conservation Research. The second one is located between Amini and Piti archipelago, and having the largest marine conservation reserve of close to 344 square kilometer. It has been named as Atakoya Tangal Marine Conservation Reserve. And the third one is for the marine birds. It's close to 62 square kilometer, and it has been named as PM Sayyid Marine Bird Conservation Reserve, right? So altogether, now that we had only one Piti sanctuary, Piti bird sanctuary, Now we have 4 marine protected areas in Lakshadweep alone. Okay, and of course you can see that also Vardhan told on the other day that researchers or the environmentalist conservationist has been continuously working in order to make more and more areas to protect. And one such example was the Angria Bank, which has got the state node, Maharashtra state node. However, the center's approval is awaited, right? So once that is done, that can also be called as a marine protected area in future, right? Uh, Apart from what we already have, there are 106 coastal and marine sites which has been identified and prioritized as important coastal and marine areas by Wildlife Institute of India, which was recently also tweeted by the Ministry of MOEFCC, that is Forest and Climate Change. Okay, to get more information, again you can have into the same INVIS link of WIA. So here you can see here. Okay, so these are 106 different important sites which has been suggested under conservation or the community reserve. Okay, in different states. So I guess close to 60 or 64 it's in the west coast and close to 40 is in the east coast. Okay, so this information is also you can get from the INVIS website. And also last month, Prakash Jadvekar has announced that the best managed protected areas will be ranked and awarded each year in order to improve the conditions of the national parks, right? And you can also see that there are 5 coastal and marine parks which can be awarded from the next year. Okay, so this is one of the latest news that hopefully will give more protection to the marine organisms. However, it is not always the case that there is an increase in the protected areas and then that is directly related to the conservation of the flora and fauna. We can see that this is one news that environment ministry unlocked many protected areas during the lockdown. So what it suggests or what it indicates that there has been even the government is not following the rules and trying to bring more and more areas for the development and thereby uh, not respecting the the protected areas integrity. Okay, and in order to, if you want to get more information about the protected areas, though there are various different ways, you can have a different link and then online, offline, in the form of different websites and all. But one particular source which is good, and I am also using this, is a PA update newsletter, that is protected area update newsletter. Okay, and that is a kind of initiative from Kalpvrich. It's an NGO based in Maharashtra. Okay, and they do have protected area updates, and they keep on saying. I mean, they send newsletters in the form of emails every month, covering a lot of information on the protected areas across the country. Okay, so you can go to this particular website and then try to subscribe for the email. You will get that. And also there are information on Maharashtra forest and other things for last 30 to 40 years, I guess. So you can have all those information if you want, right? So this is all about what we have in the marine protected areas and important marine and coastal sites which government is considering to bring under the protected areas. Now quickly have a look also on the important habitats in our country, right? So I will show you for the coral reefs, for the seagrasses, and for the mangroves, okay, and then lagoons. So first let us start with the coral reefs. So coral reefs in our country is mostly in Gulf of Kutch, in Malvan, in Maharashtra. Okay. Then we have in Lakshadweep. we have in Gulf of Mannar, and then of course Andaman and Nicobar. So most of the coral reefs in our country is fringing or patchy, except the Lakshadweep, which is an atoll. What does it mean? We will see when we will cover the coral reef ecology, okay? Or when we will look into more into the different animals, coral reefs, right? So just to get an idea that this is Gulf of Kutch, Malwan, Lakshadweep, Gulf of Mannar, Andaman and Nicobar Island. Though having said that these are the coral reefs, it does not mean that the corals are totally restricted to this area. Often you can see some of the coral patches also in other part of the country. Though those are not a major reef, those are just a kind of patchy or just rock. So you can consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 different locations in our country as a major coral reef. And you can see an information from Venkatraman book in 2011 that for the hard coral there are 218 species which has been distributed in this particular manner. That 180 is close to 180 is there in Andaman Nicobar, 91 in Lakshadweep, 92 in Gulf of Mannar and Park Bay. Also Gulf of Mannar and Park Bay. Okay, so these both areas covers corals. And then you have close to 36 species in Gulf of Kutch. Okay, so these are the major coral reef areas in our country. Now, if you want to look into the seagrass beds, then again, that seagrasses are also present in some of the mangrove areas, but I am just considering here the major beds. So you have in Gulf of Kutch, you have in Lakshadweep, you have in Gulf of Mannar and Park Bay, and then you have in Andaman and Nicobar, and then in Chilka Lake. And altogether, out of, if I am not wrong, there are 60 species of seagrasses worldwide, and out of which 14 we have in India. It's been distributed in different part of the country in this particular one, right? So mostly we have the seagrass bed in Gulf of Kutch, Lakshadweep, Gulf of Mannar, Park Bay, Andaman Nicobar, and Chilka. Okay, and these are the 14 species available in our coast. Okay, going further, looking into the mangrove forest. Of course, we have the largest mangrove ecosystem in the form of Sundarbans in the West Bengal. Then we have the Bhitarkanika, that is also a marine national park, right? We have patches of mangroves also in Andhra, in Pondicherry, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, in Karnataka, in Lakshadweep, Andaman, Goa, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. So if you can see that almost all the states do have the patches of mangroves. However, the two major is in West Bengal, that is Sundarbans, and in Orissa, that is Bhitarkanika mangrove forest. Okay, you can see that there are different number of species which is available in each site. And though the Sundarban mangrove ecosystem is the largest, the more number of species are present in Bhitarkanika Marine National Park. Okay, so this particular slide can give you some idea that where can you expect the mangroves in our country. Okay. Also, if you look into this particular paper, that is Raghavan et al. 2019, it will also tell you the places where you can get in each states. Okay, I mean major patches, right? Another important aspect of the or important thing in the Indian marine ecosystem is this Gahirmatha Beach and Marine Sanctuary. I hope that you know that Gahirmatha is one of the mass nesting spot in the Indian Ocean, and it is only turtle sanctuary in Odisha, right? So it's a turtle sanctuary in Odisha. You can see some of the photos, right, where uh, lakhs of turtle come at the same time in order to lay the eggs, and then they move back again into the sea. After the incubation time of the eggs, once the hatchling comes, these hatchlings goes into the sea. So this happens every year. So turtle comes mostly in January and February in the Gahirmatha Beach. Not only Gahirmatha, everywhere across the Indian coast, but mostly in the Gahirmatha where you have the mass nesting. And then after close to 2 months, uh, the egg hatches and the hatchlings goes back into the sea. So this phenomenon occur in a mass scale at this particular location. That's why it is a sanctuary in Odisha. Okay, and this is very much near to Bhitarkanika Marine Park, right? I mean, apart from this seagrass, corals, and mangroves, we also have a very specific habitat in the form of lagoons. So in total, there are 17 major lagoons in our country. If you look, we have Chilka in Orissa, Bindi, right, in Andhra, Nijampatnam, Pennar, Pulicat sharing between Andhra and Tamil Nadu. We have Muttukadu very much near to our where we are based in Chennai in Old Mahabalipuram Road towards on the way to Pondicherry. We have Muthupet, and then we have also Gulf of Mannar. Okay, so these are some of the lagoon systems in India. Okay, and in the east coast, and then in the west coast, of course, Kerala is very much famous for their lagoon system, and across the different places in Kerala, you have close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lagoons. Apart from that, you have 2 or 3 in Gujarat and then in Maharashtra. So these are the lagoons. You should differentiate lagoons with estuaries. Both are different. So basically, lagoon you can understand by it's a shallow body of water separated from the sea or from the larger body of the water because of the formation of reef. I mean, not to make it clear that lagoons are the separated waters from the larger body by the reefs, by the barrier reefs, or by the barrier peninsula. Okay, so uh, this is how the lagoons are there in our country, and you may be hearing more often about the Chilka because of the dolphins, right? Then also we have Pulicat, which is in the border of Andhra and Tamil Nadu, right? And then you may be hearing more often about the Kerala backwaters, right? Because of its exotic locations and then uh, exotic environment. Okay, so this is all about the major marine ecosystem, or you can say that important marine and coastal sites of our country.